What's going on, Tamers? It's your boy Dan from DigiGuard United, bringing you guys a deck profile. It's been a hot minute since we, done videos for y'all. We're coming back off a hiatus, and hopefully this comes out the same week as I'm recording it. I don't know when it will drop. It all depends on the editing and whatnot. Gino's also dropping a Digimon deck profile, and y'all should check it out. Might be before this one, might be after. I don't know. Hopefully this goes out first, I guess, the way I'm talking about it and whatnot. This right here is my first off top 8 ulti cup list and my top 4 store regionals deck list. It has some few changes. We'll talk about those changes when I get to it. But man, I love this deck. This deck is very rewarding to play. It's very complicated in the sense of your combos in comparison to other decks. Yes, you have your main combo that you want to do, but there is so many different branches you can get there to try to win and whatnot. And I think that's what makes the deck really fun to play. It takes a lot, I mean a lot of play testing. And for me, I think that's probably the reason why people aren't running this deck as often, because they're not willing to, it's not cookie cutter. It's not, you do your one main combo and that's it. Like, you go Gallon X, you just bang it out and then call it a day, right? Or Hudi now is kind of very linear type of combo you want to do. This is not a linear deck in my opinion, and this is what makes it maybe a little daunting for people to try out. But if you do, I think it's very rewarding, and I think my results are showing that this deck is definitely viable in today's game. I can't say it's a tier 1 deck, but I can say it's at least, maybe a tier 1.5-ish style deck. With all that being said, let's hop into this and start talking about my 50 for those leagues. First off, for the eggs, we got our Demimeras. Demimeras is the BT15 one. This is the best egg you want for the deck because you want to trash your low 5s and higher, honestly, all the time. You want to trash your MaloLoop, you want to trash your Malos, your Venoms if you're running it like me, or anything else as well. Plus the cycle of drawing, really good. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about the egg. Next, we're going to jump into the rookies. We got the Uko package. So of course, we got our 4 searching and our 1 memory gain Uko. The search is amazing because you need your tamers. Your tamers is the MVP of the deck. Arcanimon Mummymon Tamer is, best card of your deck. This is what makes your deck go burr. This is what makes the loop happen with the game. So you need to get those pieces as fast as possible. If you're going first, that 1 memory Uko choke is pretty clutch sometimes. You put them in 1, you set them at a slower pace. Now you raid, you hopefully search for the pieces that you needed, hatch again, and then maybe go into another Demi-Devi, which I'll talk about in a second, or another Uko, and set up digi-know or a tamer. It's really good. And then the promo Uko is really solid for me. I feel that extra memory gain and another way to hatch an egg fast is really good for this deck. An example of what you can do with it, right? If you have a Memset or Yukio on board and you have this in the back, you can raise it, gain a memory, go to 4, hatch an egg, and now you can play your Arcanimon Mummymon Tamer for free. And now you just combo off if you have 2 on board, because then your Mummymon and Arcanimon plays are free at that point. And then you just keep going and steamroll your opponent, hopefully. So yeah, the Uko's next rookies we're going to run is the Demi-Devimon. Demi-Devimon is a great card for this deck. It's a great searcher. So what it does is play for 3 costs. On play, search your top 4 for a MaloLoop in text card. And then if you add 1 such thing, you can trash another one. From your hand, the trash is anything. So you can trash your tamer, you can trash an option, whatever it is that you need to trash at that moment to cycle. The inheritable won't matter in this version of the deck. You're never going to evo up the chain like a normal deck. You're skipping your 4s and you're going straight to your 5s all the time. So the retail won't matter. If I build a stack version, I'll probably update y'all on that and see how well that is for me as well. But oh, one more thing, forgot. Another thing this can do for you is if you have the MaloLoop, you can kill the Demi-Devi and reduce the play cost of your MaloLoop, and you can do it like that as well, which is good. Especially in certain situations, if you're stuck, it's not that bad when that happens. Next, speak of the devil himself, MaloLoop. This card is cracked. In my opinion, this card does so much for the deck. First off, first effect, when this card will be played, by deleting one of your Digimon MaloLoop and its text, reduce the play cost by 4. So basically, you can delete anything in this deck and Digimon wise to reduce the play cost. So you can delete your Demi-Devis if you need it. You can delete your Mummy, Arvakennys, MaloLoop X on board if that's there for some reason, Mallows, Venoms, anything, and you get the reduction, which is pretty good. And then the on play on deletion is you gain blocker retail, which is pretty good because if you give one of your purple Digimon blocker retail, I should say, and it's good because let's say if you can't do a full combo, you need to get some blockers out, you can put the blocker himself, they swing, you block with this, and then on the lead you give something else blocker, which is pretty good. Stalls them out as well. And then if, depending on the board situation, you can do a lot more than besides that. Inheritable, which is very important when it comes to the loop. On deletion, you may play one purple tamer from your trash suspended while paying the cost. So that means you can play your Yukios again, you can play your Arcanimon Mummymons again, and that's how you do the loop, because Mummymon or Arcanimon will get you the dual tamer, and this will get you a second dual tamer. And if you line it up correctly, then you can always loop it, which is super important. Next important card to talk about is MaloLoop X. For MaloLoop X, I think, again, this is another important piece. Yes, if you see your first MaloLoop, you only need the one to see it, but you want to see it as fast as possible. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing about it. It's a matter of how fast can you see those pieces. You don't see it, you're kind of like, you just keep digging and hope to get him. But anyways, back to MaloLoop X. MaloLoop X is cracked in this deck. So this is also allows you to do the BT3 MaloLoop shenanigans, right? So first off, black box, you EVO over MaloLoop for free. On play, on delete, you delete a level 4 lower Digimon on board, one of your opponents, I should say. And then on deletion, if MaloLoop is in the stack or X anybody, you can play a level 6 MaloLoop from your trash for free. And that's where you do the combo, because if you have this combo with this plus a Mummymon, you delete both of them for a AX10 Malo, which we'll get into the combo later. And then off of this effect, you play another one for free, which is really card is cracked. It's all about trying to find that as well. Next, we're running our Mummymons. So 4 of the BT16 Mummymon and 1 of the EX10 Mummymon. First off, this one, the Evo cost, you ain't gonna matter. You're either playing this for 6, 3, or 0, basically. So what that means is, depending on your Arcanimon Mummymon tamer situation, you can reduce the play cost by 3 for each one. You only delete 1, you play it for 3. If you delete both of them, if you delete 2, I should say, you get to play this for free, which is really good. And that's when like the loop shenanigans starts happening. On play, draw 2, trash 2, fantastic. A way to filter your hand, way to get into your deck to draw more and to find the pieces that you need, especially when you're going into your full combo. And then on delete, you may from your trash play 1 tamer with MaloLoop text with a different name board. So basically what that means is, if you have an Arcanimon Mummymon on board, you cannot play another one from trash. You have to play a Yukio, and vice versa. All of the Mummymons and Arcanimons have that same deletion effects. You'll see as we get there. But fantastic card. And then the occasional thing that pops up is the retail. Sometimes it'll pop up if you need to swing or something, like if it stays on board long enough, depending on like your situation. That's when it matters. And then the EX10 Mummymon, same concept again. You're playing it for 0, 3, or 6. On play, by trashing 1 card in your hand, de-digivolve one one of your opponent's Digimon. And that can come up, especially if you know if your opponent has aces. That might matter, right? Especially if you're playing against, let's say, Omnimon, right? And they have a War Greymon set up, and you know they have the ace in hand. You can digi-evolve the War Greymon and then into the Agumon, and then you you combo off at that point. That's why it's only at one of, because it's definitely situational. A lot of times the deck can deal with a lot of stuff on the board because there's many ways to remove things. But if they have those protections like deletion protection, bounce protection, then Digivolve is always there when you need. Great thing about it is the moment you see the one of, that's why it's only at one of, then you always have access to that effect because you can play it from your hand or from your trash whenever, basically. Really good. Next we got our Arcanimons. We're about to show. We got 3 Arcanimon and then 3 Arcanimon from BT16 and then the 1 EX10. Same concept with the EX10 one. You only need to see when you see the one of, you're good to go. You can get it whenever you need it. Great effect is on play by trashing one card from your hand. You can delete up to 6k DP worth of Digimon. So if they have a bunch of weenies on board and they got like 3 of them and they're all like 1k or 2k, you can delete all 3 of them, which is really clutch. Definitely a way to deal with floodgates if you need to. At that point, depending on the style of floodgate, you might be playing it 4 to 6 cost anyways. So it really depends on their floodgates they're using against. Unleashing the same concept as the Mummy ones like I mentioned before, which is really good. Then we have the BT16 Arcanimon. It's blocker natively, which actually matters quite a bit because you have maybe at times where you have Arcanimon blocker plus your Myotismon blocker, and so they gotta deal with multiple blockers sometimes in this deck if you can't kill them for whatever reason, and you force them to be in this weird situation where maybe you have the Malos, and so now you block, and then it dies. Effect, you play your Tamers out, and then Malos effect, you bottom deck something and trash the security, which can come up quite frequently depending on the situation of the game. On play, reveal the top 5 cards of your deck. Trash any 2 purple cards. So that means you can trash your Tamers if you need to. You can trash your Malos, Myotismons, wherever it is, and then you bottom deck the rest of the cards. A great way to filter through your deck faster. Being able to search 5 is pretty good, honestly. That's what, 10th of your deck, I guess, technically. So if you see this multiple times in a game, you're going through your deck pretty fast, which is pretty important in this deck. So you want to see your pieces as fast as possible. Next, we're going to go straight into the 6s. The best card in the deck. The reason why this deck is meta relevant in my opinion, which is EX10 Myotismon. So I know you see that giant play cost of 14 on top, right? You're never going to play it for 14. Ever. He has a beautiful trash main effect. So basically what that means is by deleting 2 of your level 5 or higher Digimon with Myotismon text, you can reduce his play cost by 11. So the only way you're never playing this for, 3 is if they had like the Psychic Monster reduce play cost. And at that point, you're probably trying to deal with the Psychic Monster before you even attempt to do this. Which, you should be able to. He's able to Evo over a red, blue, or purple Digimon for 6 cost. And he Evos over Myotismon and name for 5, which sometimes that matters in this deck. Sometimes you might need an Evo over your Myotismons or Mummies or Arcanis, depending on the situation in the game. So those Evo costs do sometimes matter. And his main effects, bossed it when I say. On play, when Digivolving, when attacking, delete 2 other unsuspended Digimon. Point, that's it, right? That actually matters in the sense of you can delete your own, you can delete your opponent's Digimon, and then depending on the situation in the game, you're going to activate your all turns effect, which is when any of your other Digimon or Tamers are deleted, you trash your opponent's top security and bottom deck one of the Digimon with the lowest DP to the bottom deck. The lowest DP part matters to an extent, but because the way like the deck works, you're going to be deleting a lot of stuff anyways, and whatever that's left on board is what your bottom deck anyway. most times. And so effect is crazy, especially since it's all turns. Like I mentioned before, if you block with an Arcanimon or something on your opponent's turn, that effect activates. Faster security and bottleneck something. And so they get put in this weird like catch-22 if they don't have no instant out to like delete it and get rid of it, because there's no protection on it. But if they have no way of deleting this or bottom deck it or bouncing into your hand or something like that, they're in for a rude awakening. And a lot of times that kind of throws people off because they don't want to like swing with when they know they have weaker bodies, or they don't want to accidentally delete your opponent's like weaker bodies just in case, because this will activate and put them in a bind basically. This card is just goated and it needs to be a 4 of. Next Malo we have is the BT3 Malo. This is what I've been talking about. This is what causes the loop from happening, because none of these numbers matter basically. 13 play costs don't matter. 5 even 5 over a low 5 don't matter. 12k DP is whatever. Piercing doesn't really matter. I mean, it can occasionally come up if you give it rush, which is rare. What really matters is what it says all turns. When another Digimon is deleted, gain 1 memory. And basically that's what causes the loop. So when you get 1 out, you delete 2 Digimon, you gain 2 memory. So this becomes effectively a 1 cost drop. If you have another one on board, you delete 2 bodies to play it out, right? That right there is already 2 memory and then 2 from another one. So that's 4 memory. If there's another Digimon on board, another 2 Digimon on board, that's besides these 2, you're deleting another 2 more Digimon, which means that's another 2 memory from here and 2 memory from there. That's basically 8 memory just from that. And it's just, you become an infinite memory gain and you just infinitely keep going. And that's the whole loop section of the deck, right? And that's the whole point of this. But the reason why I only have 2 is because if your MaloLoop deck just focuses on this loop and you don't loop, you don't win the game. Essentially what it comes down to. So that is why you'll see I have different other 6s that I have in the deck, besides these 2 Malos, which we're going to jump into right now. And right here is the Venom Myosma from this deck, from the same set, EX10. This card is cracked. This card is low-key really, really good. And people sleep on this because it's not Malo, right? Play cost 12 won't matter because you're usually going to play it for 5 anyways, with the trash main effect, which is by deleting one of your level 5 Digimon when Myosma in text, play this card with play cost reduced to 7. Unfortunately, it's not as good as Malo where it says it's level 5 or higher. But you still get your uses out of this anyway. So you can play this for 5 or evo this for 4, which happens quite frequently sometimes depending on the situation and game. On play, when digivolving, you may suspend 2 of their Digimon or tamers, and then you choose 2 of their Digimon or tamers and they can't unsuspend until the end to their turn end. And then he has an unleashing effect of delete one of your opponent's suspended Digimon. The tamer interaction is what matters. There's so many times where I can play this card and I just slow down a Galaxy player because they can't use their red tamers anymore due to the free evo shenanigans. Or, you know, maybe Omni to an extent, maybe they won't gain the memory off the tie mat, or I don't know, I can't think of it right now. But there's obviously there's a lot of decks in this game that are very tamer reliant, and it matters that you're able to stop their tamers from suspending. And so that's why it's really good. So that's why I say, like, if you can't loop, then what's your next option, right? I have cards like these where I can activate this, play this, suspend their Digimon, whatever it is, and they can't unsuspend. And now that gives me another turn potentially to win the following turn. There's just so many different combos you could do with it. If you play it for free off of Myos X with Malo, you could suspend their stuff. Malo pops or something, pop the Venom, and now you can pop their suspended for some reason. Like, let's say they have a lot of bodies on board or something. You can deal with a lot of it because of this card, and like the combinations with the deck is really good, in my opinion. Next, my last one is the BT16 Malo. Realistically, this card is cracked as AF. This is like so good, and honestly, I can see myself bumping this up to like 2 to 3 in the future, because The effect is cracked. It really is. So basically what it does is when digivolving, when attacking, it is not a once per turn effect. By deleting one of your Digimon or Tamers, you can delete one of your opponent's unsuspended Digimon. If a Digimon is not deleted by this effect, you can delete one of your opponent's if an effect didn't delete your opponent's Digimon, I should say, you may delete one of the Tamers, and that's what's cracked about it. Battle My Osma has a way to delete Tamers in this card. And there's many ways to cheat this out. There's many ways maybe to gain a whole bunch of memory. Evo on top of this. When digivolving, effect, swing, boom. You can give it rush and then swing, do that effect to delete a Tamers or something. It's so good. Playing against Omnimon, right? You delete the Nokia, now they're stuck, right? You delete the red Tamer for Galaxy, they're stuck. You delete, you know, even like the Liberator decks, right? The rocks, if you delete close, they're slowing down now. There's so many decks in this game where if you're deleting or suspending the Tamers, they just they can't do as much as they normally can. And so it's really good to have this card. Second effect, all turns, when effect deletes one of your other Digimon Tamers, trash the top card of your opponent's security stack. What's really cool about this is that it synergizes really well with Old Malo. So if you have these two out, you're trashing your opponent's security all the time at 2-ofs easily, right? And they're both all turns effects. So let's say you have this out and you got a blocker out for some reason. If this dies, oh no, this is when effect, my fault. Whoopsie daisies. This one's by an effect. Backtrack. If for some reason they delete my Arcanimon or something like that, you're trashing both, right? This one is when any of your other Digimon or Tamers is deleted, period. You trashing the bomb deck. This one has to be by an effect. Really good still regardless. Love it when it pops up. OmniX. You're like, damn, why the hell is there OmniX in this deck? Well, great question, audience, right? He can Evo over Malo. If you're in a situation where you ran out of resources, you have this in your hand, and they're at their last security, you can just Evo over this and then swing and go for game. That was the idea of it. You can also do some funny stuff too. Let's say you Evo over this and you have this on board. Because this is not a once per turn when attacking effect, you get them down to, you know, 1 security. You swing with this effect, you delete their stuff, trash their security, and then, you know, go for a game or something. You can also have it maybe this swung multiple times with this, possibly, and then, you know, pop their Tamers if you need to. So some cool, you know, niche combos you can do. I don't know if it will stay because it never came up, unfortunately. The one time that I thought I had the opportunity to do it, I couldn't gain another memory during that turn. But it's like there's like an extra wooden button, I guess you could call it, right? Just because the way it is. It can definitely be replaced by something else for sure, but we'll see what happens. Next is the MVP of the deck. This is the Arcanimon card. This is what I've been talking about right here. You need to see this as soon as possible for your combos to work. Basically what it does is your turn when Arcanimon or Momimon are being played, by deleting this Tamer, reduce the play cost by 3. Then it has an on deletion effect where you can play a MaloLoop in text level 5 Digimon or lower to the field for free from your trash. So that includes obviously playing your Arcanimon, Momimons, your MyO's X's, MyOsmons, and people don't realize this, you can also play your Demi-Devis. This allows you, if you're in a bad situation, you don't have that 5 that you need in trash, you can play a Demi-Devi as well to gain that surge. If you have 2 of them, sometimes you just need to do it, and it just be like that. This is what causes, this is the start of your MaloLooping shenanigans. It's just phenomenal. Bandai, if you're watching this, you need an alt art for this. Need one ASAP. Next to the Tamers is 2 Yukios. This card is phenomenal. He is a mem setter for you for the deck. Number 1, which is fantastic. Second, the all turns effect. Not an all turns effect. When a MyOsmon in text name is played, not in text, MyOsmon in their names are played, you may delete this Tamer, give it rush, and gain a memory. So that matters because for when you loop it on your turn, you can, you know, swing with your Malos that you just played, which is phenomenal to be able to do that. And plus, because the way the deck works with Mullimon and MaloLoop always playing the Tamers, you can always keep getting them out, always keep getting a free memory, always gain brush and swing. It's phenomenal. You only need 2 because the moment you see one of it, you don't need to. You don't really need the card per se early on, but you just need to see the one of, and that's it, and you're good to go. Next MVP of the deck, really. DigiGuard Open. This card is a godsend. This card is broken when it comes to a deck like this, where the Arcanimon Mummymon doesn't need to have an effect to play. Like, you're not a hybrid deck per se, so you don't need to swing that same turn or something. You just play it out and you activate the effect by deleting itself to reduce your play cost, and it's phenomenal. What this does is, right, you can for 4. Ignore the color requirements. Great. You don't need the white on board, even though you can because of Uko in this deck. Main, you reveal the top 3. You add a Tamer and a Digimon and bomb the rest. Main delay, you may play 1 Tamer card with the same color as any of your Digimon or on the field from your hand. Play cost reduced by 4. That means all your Tamer play is free in the deck. Love free. Best start is if you go Uko in the back and then you DigiGuard Open, gain at least one of them, and then you play another one out early, and you're good to go. You're balling at that point. You're set to go, and you raise a card. It's phenomenal what this card does for the deck. I think this is what pushes the deck to be a a tier 1.5 deck, having that extra consistency, an extra way to play your Tamers for free, because paying the cost of 4 sometimes sucks, so sometimes you have to pass turn, which is not always good. Next card we have is Death Claw. This is a new addition for me. I wasn't playing it in the old Cup version, and this card matters, right? For 1, you can delete one of your Digimon to delete one of your opponents 4 or lower. That includes a cheap way to remove Floodgate. That is a way to remove champions that's on board for whatever reason. Hudimon, it can delete. Many things to delete that might matter. Security, delete one of your opponent's low 4 lower Digimon. So if you're playing against Hudimon, if they hit this, you kill their Hudi, call it a day, and they ain't doing much with it, right? I think that's what's really needed. It's really good, in my opinion. I really loved it since I've had it in the deck. I don't always need to use it, but when I do, it always feels good because it's next is a Venom Infusion, a one of. This card is really good, low-key, for many reasons. For 6 calls, only 6 calls, not that bad. So if you're at 3, you use it, you can put your opponent at 3, which is not too bad. Effect, by trashing 1 Digimon card in your hand, delete one of your opponent's Digimon whose level is less than or equal to the trash card's level. When a card with MaloLoop in its text is trashed, you may draw 2. So it's just another way to draw 2. And this deck is pretty important. If your opponent swings, like let's say it's a Gallons or something, and hit this is a security bomb, it will delete it because it's an option. And then you just gain an extra draw 2, which is always really good to have. Solid card in my opinion. And last but not least is the one of Jackraid. This deck can easily get 20 cards in trash for a free gain 2 memory. I've had games where I'm like, at the 20 threshold, I'm at 2, and I needed 2 more memory to play Arcanimon Mummymon free. For 4, and keep turn, and then start looping because that's all I need. Card phenomenal. And then obviously security, we all know it does, gain 2 memory. Jackraid is just Jackraid, and it's just a phenomenal card that can be. That's the deck profile. Let me show you real quick a quick little combo with the deck. This is gonna be your main strategy to do. Is first off, you want to get your Tamers, right? You need one of these bad boys. Next, for let's say there are 3 memory, you play this out, deletes. Let's have this. Let's have the combo, right? Your main combo is doing this, and then having this or something. It doesn't matter. This in trash. Let's go here, right? So combo, right? Combo. You have this on board, right? You delete this, play this for 3, get your draws off, whatever. Effect, you play out MaloLoop. Effect, you give it block or retail, and then you evo into Here we are. We go into MaloLoop X, right? And then boom, this is a delete something. And then effect of MaloLoop. You go here, you play this for 3 effects. You're gonna play your tamers. If you have another tamer in trash, you can play another one suspended. And then you play out MaloLoop. And now you're set up for the combo, right? You're gonna be gaining a lot of memory. You're gonna do a lot of shenanigans. It's just really strong. Obviously, if it's the best loop version is if you have this on board, right? Let's bring this back real quick. Let's say you have these 2, right? You have these in hand and this in trash. Let's go here. You play this for free. Effects of the tamers. You get to play out this and you get to play out this, right? Now you have 3 bodies on board. Go into MaloLoop X. You go this for free. You delete these 2, play this for 3, and then effect of the mummy and the MaloLoop. You have to play this out for free because Arcanimon states play a tamer with MaloLoop and text for free, and then MaloLoop effect you play it suspended, right? And then effect here's effect of the MaloLoop X, right? MaloLoop X plays this out. So if your opponent has a Digimon on board, you can delete the mummy one. You delete the their opponent's Digimon, and you're gonna gain a bunch of memory. And then that's how the loop starts, right? Because then you continue going, you delete these, you play more, and then you just keep going until your opponent is dead. And that's the gist of the combo, right? If you're you know have everything on it, you're gonna be doing a phenomenal job. That's why it's really cool. It's just a matter of getting there for this deck, in my opinion. But yeah. So that's the 50 cards. I'm gonna have probably some different. If I go to another store regional, I'm probably gonna play this again and see if I can actually win it. I think this deck is phenomenal. Again, let me reiterate these points from earlier. I think this is a tier 1.5 deck. I think this is maybe not a tier 1 deck because it's not as consistent per se because you can have some bad bricks in it. But it's just as strong as anything else, and this counters to it. That's part of the reason as well. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on my deck list. Let me know what you have in your own Malo list. If for anyone who's playing MaloLoop, let me know what y'all running. If there's any tech cards maybe I'm missing that I need to know about, especially going forward in BT23 format or whatnot. Let me know in the comment section. And last thoughts. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to see more content just like this by us, right? With that being said, I'll catch you on the next one.